So now this is a very interesting video because I think what I said before is it's also again like just theory. It's about explaining things, explaining how you write something, give you an example. But this is more about how do you actually do it in real life. So the first thing is that you need to write or you need to prepare a table with the references that you are going to use because you can't start writing without the references. So the activity of today is to complete a table. It can be this table or it can be a similar table. No, it doesn't have to be exactly the same thing. It can be, this is my suggestion. You can write a table first, writing the topic. The topic means which is a concept that you are going to talk about. It can be a topic or concept. So for in this case, it's digital transformation in these three papers. Then the author and the year, it doesn't matter. You can just as a reference. And the page and the quote. I write the page because when you write a quote from someone else, you need to write the page, right? You need to in the in the in the in the citations, you need to have the page. If you are not going to quote that guy or those guys, you can just summarize, or you can write it in your own words. So if that is the case, you don't need the page, the number of page from where you're getting the quote. So let me show you what I did. I found some articles that are about digital transformation in manufacturing. That's the main point of this. So I wanted to um, borrow their definition from digital transformation so I can use it in my paper. So here it is. Digital transformation is about adopting disruptive technologies to increase productivity. It really gives you an idea that it's about manufacturing, right? And it's even a quote. This is something that that person wrote in the paper, literally. That person wrote this guys, sorry. So you can start doing this table. The objective of today is to have at least 5 sources or 5 references from each concept that you are going to use. So if you're going to use digital transformation and organizational structure and software implementation, you need to have 15 references. So that will be the goal of today. Then another paper. This is one paper, this is another paper. Digital transformation, again, is the same topic. And here they say this is again something that they literally wrote about. In some sectors, digital transformation primarily involves production processes. This is particularly typical for manufacturing companies. I think this makes sense, or this is coherent with this definition, right? Digital transformation is primarily production processes. Digital transformation is about adopting technologies to increase productivity. So it's very similar, processes productivity. So I think I can maybe start my paragraph with this quote, like digital transformation is defined as blah, 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 and then my reference. And even some other authors agree with that definition when they state that in some sectors, blah, 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 blah. And then finally, I have another definition where it says um, digital transformation can also apply to outsourcing strategies. I didn't get a quote from there, but I know that this paper is about this. So this is an example of what you have to do. Maybe you don't get the quote in the first time. Maybe you just find a paper that it's interesting for you, so you can put it on your table, and you can leave this in blank. You don't have to, or you can write a comment. You don't have to write a quote right away. You can leave it in there. Just remember that that's an important paper. And you will see how in this table, you will end up with all the references that you need. It's like you have this main reference, which gives you the definition of the concept, and then you will have 4 more that will help you to build that argument. So this is what you will do today. You are going to complete a table similar to this one. You have to follow exactly the same format that I use, but it's an idea. And remember, save your references. I will show you in Google in uh, in Google Scholar, which is what I use, how you can save those references. Let me open Chrome. So what you should do is that you should type Google Scholar, and then this is this is what I usually do to find references and papers. So in here, it's like Google, but for academic papers and books and articles and things that are academic, that are serious, not Wikipedia or anything like that. So in here, you can write the concept that you want to talk about, like software implementation. Let's see. Software implementation. So here you have a few papers. So you can see from the title if it's going to feel to help you or not. For instance, maybe you have some that are more maybe if this one is a patent, I think. So it's not useful for us. This one seems interesting. ERP software implementation and integrative framework, because I think in this paper they're going to explain how you can implement a software. The bad news is that if you don't find the file in here, it might be difficult to get that file. You will need to use Biblioteca Digital. If you need to find something like this one, if you say, I need this paper, but I can't download it, come to the Zoom session and let's find it together, because it's very complicated to find the right paper in Biblioteca Digital. It's very crazy, but let me know. So in this case, we are sad because we didn't find the right paper at in the first try. But let me find another one. Let's see if we find an interesting paper in here, because most of them are like for engineering or something like that. I think this concept is too broad. Maybe we can use another thing like digital transformation definition. Let's try it like digital transformation. Here we have one. Look, like here we have another one. Understanding digital transformation and a review and a research agenda. That seems very interesting because it seems that it's going to give you some definitions. So you click in there and where it in the PDF, you click in there and then you will find, usually it's a working paper, sometimes it's the main paper, it really depends. So let's take a look at this. What we want to find in here is the definition of digital transformation. So read the abstract and let's see what are they talking about in here. Then search what you are looking for. You are looking for the digital transformation. So in recent years, digital transformation has emerged an important phenomenon in strategic research. So let's see if we find where they define digital transformation, because this is the introduction. They jump ahead to the methods and findings. Well, this paper is kind of weird. This paper is kind of weird. It might be worth reading because it seems quite interesting. But maybe if you are looking for the definition of digital transformation, maybe this won't help you. So what you can do is that in your table, you can include this paper, but you don't have to write a quote or anything so far. Just keep it in there. Keep it in your private library of papers that you are going to use. This one seems very interesting. Conceptualizing digital transformation in business organization. A systematic review of the literature. This one seems really, really good. Let's take a look at the paper. Again, remember, click on the file on the right. Here you have it. Digital transformation has gained, oh, they always say the same thing. They always say whatever they're talking about is very important. Again, this paper just goes from the introduction to the methodology. But you can find something here. I think you will find it in there because this is a literature review. This paper is actually a complete literature review. This paper is only the literature review. This paper only talks about what has been written. It's a really weird way to publish something. It's like you become really an expert on something. You have read everything that has been written about the topic, and then you just summarize everything. So it's literally that. It's like digital transformation, the current situation. Maybe you can read, you can find something here that might be interesting. And this paper is also very interesting because it gives you a lot of references. So if you want to think about digital transformation in terms of a strategy, you should take a look at these 5 papers. Or if you think about digital transformation in terms of process, you can take a look at these 10 papers. Well, you can find something around there that will help you. You can take that quote and put it in your table. So it's about that. That's how you write the table that I am asking you to do today in the activity. And another thing that I have in the PowerPoint presentation, cite your sources, keep your references. How do you do that? Well, the easiest way to do that is once you find the paper that it's interesting for you, like maybe this one, Conceptualizing Digital Transformation, you should click in here in the quote, and then you get the right citation for that paper. So we usually use APA, so just copy and paste it in Word, and then you have your um, your references. Remember, always save your references. So by the end of today, you will have 10 or 15 or even 20 different references, and then you will have your table with things that you can build from there. And again, when you write something, when you want to tell something to the world, you need to read more than what you talk or what you write. I always have that saying from my supervisor from the PhD. He said that the world is in trouble, and I think he's correct, because people talk more than what they read, and I think that's totally correct. I think I think people like Trump and AMLO, they talk more than what they read, and then what they say doesn't really add anything to to the actual conversation that people who know about the topic know. So I think you need to read a lot to talk about something. So in the end, once that you are done with the table, because you found that there are like 10, 15, or 20 important papers that you can use in your research, then read them slowly, take your time. You can start reading maybe just the introduction and the conclusion, and then you can use that for later on. Because the homework is about writing the, the very first draft of the literature review. That means you should prepare a Word document that should be written in your group. State the 2 or 3 important concepts of your research, define it, and add some references in there to build your argument. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect, but you need to start writing, reading and writing. First, read the papers. You don't have to read it completely, because now we are focusing only on the concepts. Read the introduction, read their literature review, read their conclusion, so you understand how they define whatever concept you're talking about, and then start it's just like structuring this thing. It's not going to be perfect. I'm going to give you feedback. It's okay, but start writing the literature review. That will be your homework for the next week. So today, complete the table. I will be in Zoom helping you. I can even suggest you some references. Maybe the first one if you want to start from there, and then start. Well, you can even start today. Like if you want to, you can even start at least writing the the subsections, and then during the week, after you have some more time to read the papers, start adding some stuff in there. It's going to be like that for the whole semester, adding stuff in there. But if you don't write, you will never finish. So start. If you want to, you can share the file with me by the end of the week or whenever I can give you feedback, or you can wait and then the next week I will give you feedback, because you need to submit the homework and I will give you feedback on the homework. It's going to be like that. And I promise you, if you keep working like that, like if today you finish your table, and then if you complete the first draft of the literature review, you will have a really good job by the end, and it will be published. I think that you will see that your work every week is going to end up with a really good piece of paper that's going to be maybe cited by someone who is doing a dissertation, or maybe someone who is studying digital transformation. And then when you present this, when you want to study a master degree or a PhD, or even when you want to go to work and you say that you already wrote something as serious as this, it's going to be really good for you. So I will be in Zoom let me know if you have any questions about this, or if you want me to put you into groups so you can work all together. That would be great for that. I will be happy to do that. Also, let me know if you need something else. I will try to upload what I found in here, like some references, these references that I think they are important. And let me know if you need something else, okay? So I'll see you in class.